get started and adjust the agenda slightly so that they can make their presentation early. That being said, I would like to call to order the meeting of the regular session Library Board of Trustees at 10 a.m. Wednesday, November 13th, 2024 in the City Council Complex County Chambers. I will now lead one and all. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We all have copies of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the adoption of the agenda? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The agenda is adopted. Item 4 is the call to the public. Ms. Lopez, do we have any requests to call to the public?
Not at the moment, Chairman Vanderbilt.
Thank you. Item 5, discussion items, and this is where we're going to adjust the agenda slightly so that our first presentation will be, as stated, from the fire department, the fire evacuation plan and CPR class for the library department by Chief Urias. Chief?
Good morning, members of the board. So the director, Ms. Lopez, contacted me in inquiries about starting a public education in hand with a fire evacuation plan. So what we've been doing and working together is working on a plan that works for the facility itself and also some public education in regards to the CPR class. So what we've done is set up a class to start with the staff members, getting them up to date and up to speed on the current American Heart Association standards for CPR, and then also working hand in hand and creating a fire evacuation plan that works for the staff and members of the community. We're currently in the first phase of building this. We'll be contacting her in person to set up dates that work to get all the staff members up to date with the current CPR standards. There's no cost to the class itself. The only cost that is associated with the CPR would be the cost of the cards, which I believe that will go through the department director. The Nogales Fire Department will be instructing the class with certified American Heart Association instructors. You guys will also have a draft of the fire evacuation plan in a written document. That way it's able to be posted, and hope we can make accommodations to meet the American with Disabilities Act also.
Thank you. Does any of the board have questions or comments for the chief?
Cool. Thank you.
Oh, excuse me. I would like to just tell everybody, briefly, very briefly, that learning CPR is a very, very valuable learning experience. I was an EMT in the Tubac Fire Department from 1978 to 88. And in 1978, this was before the HIV virus, I actually performed mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on a heart attack victim. And unfortunately, the gentleman didn't survive, but I will tell you that in the CPR class, we learned it like in an open space like this, and we had the mannequins out, and we were learning it. But in the reality, in this case, the gentleman, a very heavy-set individual, fell down between the wall, his bed, and the wall, and we had about 6 inches. We were practically standing on our heads to perform the CPR. The practical reality is different than the learning experience. But it would be valuable for all the board members to take a CPR class too. It's really something important to know.
Yeah, to add on to that, that's something that we can also facilitate through the department director. So the mission is to have everybody in the community certified in CPR, and so the more people that we get certified or citizens that we get certified, it would ultimately help the fire department pre-arrival to our incidents. So, like I said, I'll go directly through the department director, and we can help facilitate that to get everybody up to speed.
Excellent.
Dan, I have a question. Where are these sessions going to be held or planned to be held?
Currently, they're planned to be held there at the public library.
At the library where?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I've got something.
No?
I think it's a great idea about the CPR class because I've been certified before, and I've had to perform it once. I wasn't successful either, but yeah, it's very important to have, and I think in the previous years, I think you certified me. It was some years back, but yeah, I think it's very important.
Yeah, so like I said, it's something that we'll get in order with other instructors that we have there at the station, and make sure that everybody can go through the program that meets the standards of the American Heart Association.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time and presentation.
Thank you.
All right. I believe that now we are going to move up. What item is this? This is item 6, the online database. Is that correct? A presentation on the new Polaris circulation system that's now being installed in the library.
Good morning, members of the board, chairman. Polaris is going right along. Software has been installed and it's ready. The library personnel are currently doing training to get familiar with the program. It's quite a learning curve, but I feel 100% sure that by December 12th, we will be properly trained and good to go with the new program. So I left the schedule in front of you. We're about 3/4 of the way through. Went really well. The new program, I haven't been to all the meetings just because I've been a little busy, but what I've seen, what I've been through is pretty good compared to what we have now. So, does anybody have any questions?
Well, I have a question. How will this improve the circulation record keeping within the library?
Well, there's more modules, sir. There's more modules to help our personnel to records keep, as well as for the patrons to take out their books, because we have an online portion where they'll be able to go and see what's available. Some library branches do not have access to Millennium, so they have to write stuff down. And the new program is web-based, so it's accessible from anywhere, which will make it really great for the bus, the mobile library, to be able to, get patrons to take books from wherever the bus is going to be located. So it's really helpful. Again, that program is from 2000, really outdated program. So moving with this new program with better features, updated features, really helps out.
Sounds very good to me. Anybody else have a question, comments for the?
Yes. The Vega, what exactly is that? That's part of the Polaris, or I'm not
It
quite
is.
sure I'm understanding.
Yes. It uses about 3 different programs. It's Polaris, Vega, and it's just composed of different extensions, different programs to make that one program. So Vega could be doing cataloging or.
If you don't mind stepping in. So yeah, just adding to what Miguel is saying, It's just one big program with little ones. Vega, it's for the patrons. They're gonna be able to create like their own online catalog where they can put like goals, have a record of their reading logs and everything. And then we have Polaris Leap. That's where we're gonna be working circulation, cataloging, and pretty much everything else. But yeah, it's just like a different components of one program.
Oh, they all talk to each other.
Correct.
Segments of it, yeah.
Correct.
So, okay. Thank you.
Anybody else? No?
I have a question, and I apologize for being late, and forgive my ignorance, but can you check out books that you can read like on a Kindle or something like that? Is that even a thing?
The library has a program, Simple E, where you can view digital books. Our current software, Polaris, will allow for that. Yeah.
Anybody else? Any other further comments? Thank you very, very much
Thank
for
you
your
very much.
time and presentation.
Thank you.
The next item on our agenda will be the board appointment of Ms. Jasmine Alaya and Mrs. Arlene Galindo. These two women have generously volunteered their time and participation on our library board, and at the city council meeting last week, they were both officially appointed. Welcome, and thank you for attending.
Thank you. Thank you for having me the opportunity to return to the library a little bit as much the library has given to me and my family and the community.
Thank you, Arlene. Next item on our agenda is the library board officers, Chairman Brian Vandervoort, Vice Chairwoman Juanita Havel, and Board Secretary Christian Hernandez. This is simply to acknowledge the results of the election of our last meeting. And fortunately, we're all here, all three officers. Thank you very much for attending and welcome. The next item is the Sonoyta Library update, future furniture status, access to the building and hours. Vice Chairwoman Havel.
Thank you. Yes, we are still waiting to hear about the furniture that has been or will be ordered for the Sonoyta Library, and we're also trying to determine. It's county buildings, so we are trying to determine about the keys that will enable us to use the meeting room, which is quite nice, within the library and access a storage room with the rest of the books that have not yet been shelved. Of course, along with that, furniture will be shelves. I'm hearing from patrons in Sonoyta about the hours that we look forward to increasing the hours at the library because people are finding it difficult, to access when you only have 15 hours a week. There, I think that's,
Okay.
unless you think of anything else.
No. Mrs. Lopez, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Do you have any updates?
No? Okay. All right, thank you. The next item will be the Rio Rico Library expansion programs. Right. Oh, excuse me. I apologize. I'm out of line by one item. The next item will be the online database, pronuncier presentation, library assistants, Alberta Encinas and Laura Rodriguez.
Good morning. The library offers many free resources for the community. One of them is Pronunciator. I'm going to show you how to go on it and just go to the city page and then library department. This is all the free resources that the library offers to the community. The one that we're going to talk about is Pronunciator. you don't have to have the library card to access to this, but if you want to log in or just select your language that you're speaking. It says Spanish and the language that you wanna learn. And then if you wanna practice chat by chat or learn the just listen the podcast, or if you wanna talk to someone in person, well, online, or if you wanna study for the citizenship. What else?
In general, this is just a good resource to have here in the community, especially for those that can be students currently in high school who are trying to learn a new language or trying to advance the language they're learning, whether that be in Spanish in high school or French if they have that course. This is a free tool for the community that can help them. Again, they can access Pronunciator through the library website. It's free to cost. It's easy to use it. If you want to create an account or not, it's there, and it's a wonderful tool for everybody to know. At Rio Rico, we do let people know that this is a free tool, the same in Nogales.
Do you have any further in your presentation?
No, it's just pretty much telling the people to continue to know about the resources that we have here at the Santa Cruz Nogales Public Library.
I think it's excellent. It'd be really something for Pancho to utilize in First Things First, not only with the young students, but with their parents.
Is there, do you have a way to track how many people use it?
We do not have any information how many people use it.
I could get that for you from the state library. So that's something I could find out.
Is this a subscription that the library pays and you go through the library in order to access Pronunciator? Is that how it works, or is it something that anyone can go on to, like Google or something? I'm not familiar with this one.
It's one of our online databases that's provided by the state library. Each county pays a part. You do have, like, anybody's able to get access to it if you go to how staff showed through the website. We would prefer if you had a library card and you registered for it. It's free. So, and every county pays for it. So Santa Cruz County is paying our part, and we just want to make sure that the community knows of all of the resources we have. So every month, somebody from my different staff members will be presenting on Pronunciator, the Gale pages, just so we can get that word out. And Alberto and Laura are going to be going with Santos to talk about Pronunciator too, and we live in Nogales.
For example, I'm part of Centro Comunitario Los Nogales, and we have a languages club that is on Fridays, and like we go there because I'm a student also there, and we go there and we study the language that we are learning. So, for example, in my case, I'm learning Italian. And if there is other person who is studying Italian, we work together. So have you think about do like a similar club, like on, for example, Fridays, come to the library and practice your language, like, I don't know, 10 to 11, and use a computer to focus on the languages. I don't know.
Can you
Do I
bring up
understand
on the
that
screen again the
patrons
list of
must have
languages?
library cards to be able to use the facilities for this?
You do not have to. We encourage it, though. We are encouraging, and that's the whole, yeah. Could you bring up the?
Could you bring up the list of languages that are available again?
Yeah, I can do that. So it gives you many options on the languages that is native to you, which would be the language you speak. And
I was just looking to see if Quechua was involved because Ed Delcy and I were both introduced to the Quechua language when we were in the Peace Corps Peru. And I've always vowed I would try and learn a few.
I don't see it.
I don't see it.
It's a real minority language, right?
Right. Indigenous language of the Andes. Fine, thank you. Any other comments or questions?
Another just comment, I think that this would be really important, I think, for the school districts to be aware of, because I just noticed a couple of days ago, one of the elementary schools in Rio Rico started offering English classes for parents. And so I think that this is a really good resource for them to be able to tap into. And I'd be surprised if they knew about it, honestly. So I think it's something that, we should let the school districts know about, because a lot of them do offer, English classes for parents and those types of things. So
I'm 100% in agreement, Pancho. That's a really good point. Thank you very, very much for your presentation. And moving along, item 7, Rio Rico Library Expansion, Programs, Keys to the Kitchen, Talk of the Library. This is my point, but I would like to bring Alberto back. Alberto, por favor. As a librarian in Rio Rico, he can tell us a whole lot about the library there, their activities, where we stand with the keys and the other aspects.
yeah, recently we have been using the other room for activities starting yesterday. After the election ended, my other coworker or colleague who was there provided the room for the art therapy. Art therapy continues to be a growing success there, and also Tai Chi. So the space will be used for both Tai Chi, art therapy. For any community involved activity, we will have the space to be used. We have the keys, we have the code information to enter through the building. But I don't know if we have the alarm code for the exterior door to enter through that. So we are using it the other way around. But pretty much we have the room for any community-based activity.
I wanted to mention that yesterday I was able to speak with Supervisor Molera, and he has agreed to meet us there at the library. I want to tell the other two Rio Rico board members that next Tuesday at 11 a.m., if you could mark it, if you hope you can attend, Denise and I will both be there, and we're going to tour the facility. Alberto, just put it on your calendar also. So we'll be over there to walk around a little bit. We want to show him the large room. I know he knows the building, but we want to show him the potential the library has if we can open up from the current library into that large room and I want to talk to him about the process of going through the county steps to make that a formal part of the library and work as a community meeting room. So look forward to that next Tuesday at 11 a.m. Visit Supervisor Molera. Thank you very much, Alberto. Thank you for participating. Item 8 on our agenda, the Friends Report. Mr. Delsey.
Couple of items, only good news. Got word from Anna Doan this past week that her cancer had been removed, and she is undergoing medical treatment in the state of Virginia, where she is sharing with, I believe it's her daughter. I don't know about her son also, but they are both helping out in her situation, so it's encouraging to hear that. I would like to say that Friends will be meeting after this meeting at 11:15 at the library, continue our efforts. and that we continue with the free library units that we have at the neighborhood level. We have 4 here in Nogales that Marva tried and myself tried to take care of. But Rio Rico, Tubac, and Sonoita are also being taken care of by volunteers on the board. So we continue with that effort, and so far it looks pretty good. We have a Safeway store, the rec center, a Colegio Petit, and the Little Red School are the locales that we have in our immediate area here. So, and then the other areas that I mentioned are being taken care of. Receipt from there, no problems.
Thank you, Ed. I wanted to, at this point on the agenda, I wanted to ask Juanita to speak for a moment. In the journal, the periodical that comes out of Patagonia, the Patagonia PRT, Regional Times, there was quite an extensive story about the Patagonia Library in the recent edition. And the Patagonia Library is going through, the term they used was a reset. They had a librarian there for 19 years. They had a lot of stability. They had a lot of support from their friends group, and it was a nice ongoing program. And since then they've kind of had a revolving door of librarians, like they stay 1 year, 2 years, and another 1 year, 2 years. And so now their board and their librarian is sitting down to think about the future and plan how they can recreate that stability. Their funding is marginal. In fact, they came to the Santa Cruz County for a contribution or participation, which the county sent them $25,000, which was above and beyond the county's participation in the city-county operation. So when I see this, I think, well, now it's an opportune time for our board and our librarian to speak with the folks in Patagonia and see if we can't find more common ground. The Patagonia Library has always been very independent. It's part of the town of Patagonia. They haven't really been receptive. They do participate in the ILL program, which is the interlibrary loan, but that's the only commonality that I'm aware of. So I thought that perhaps, and this was Juanita's suggestion, I agree with, that perhaps the friends of our library could speak to the friends of their library and approach this really step by step, very small, modest steps, not putting a lot of pressure, but trying to open up the door a little bit. Juanita, would you like to speak to any of that?
Well, actually, you've said pretty much what I was going to say. Their friends really support all of the purchase of books and material, and they donate about $35,000 to the library. So they have been very active, and there may be some concern about will we continue to be that active. The city, it's a city library, and Patagonia is one of the 2 cities in the county, incorporated towns, and so it's been run by the city based on cookie sales initially, and now they've got a budget that's much better. But they have, and my understanding is that they have been receiving county funds for longer than just this year, from what I understand. And it had been 10%, and I think they wanted 17% of their $250,000 budget this year, and we're granted 10%. Is that right? I think that's what the article said. And I am familiar with the Friends. They donate books to us sometimes for our little free libraries. They are not involved in actual, day-to-day operations at the library, other than to do their reading of books and donated books, which are enormous amount of books, for their funding. I do happen to know a couple of people on the advisory board. They have an advisory board rather than an executive board, so it's really the city that determines. But I would like to reach out to these board members and see what their take is on it, what the community would respond to as far as being incorporated into a county system. So I will be, reporting on that if I may.
Please, we would look forward to it.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll put you on the agenda for next month.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, that concludes the friends, I guess. Then moving on, the last item under the discussion is possible action item. Oh, excuse me. motion to approve the minutes of the October 9th, 24 board meeting.
So moved.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6 on the agenda, board reports. Current events summary must be brief and there cannot be any proposal, discussion, deliberation, or legal action taken. Any members want to have a report to make to the board? Any activities you participate in? Okay. Juanita informs me she has something she would like to comment. Go ahead.
Me, right? Yeah. From Omar and Santos, they've been in talks with our teen coordinator, Victor, and they're going to be offering some classes for our teens on how to get their finances in order. And also they're going to be doing some talks about makey and technology. So that's coming up in December, and I'll let the board know the dates.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Well, personally, I've already mentioned that I was in contact with Supervisor Molera, and we're looking forward to that meeting next week. I don't have anything else. Anybody else have a comment?
Well, I'm looking forward to Camila Molina talking a little bit about what's going on at the Sonoita Library. Will she have an opportunity to do that when you introduce her? So I'll just cede the floor to Camila Molina.
Yes, of course. All right, and then that concludes that agenda item. Moving on to item 7, Library Director's Report. Denise, I'll leave this up to you.
Chairman Vanderbilt, board members, I'd like you to welcome our Sonoita librarian, Ms. Camila Molina, up to the podium so she can say a few words. Welcome, Camila.
Hello, my name is Camila Molina and I work at the Sonoita Library branch. It's been really nice working up there, getting to know everyone in the community and trying to figure out what people want, what people don't want, and trying to organize activities to do. But so far it's been really nice up there.
Camila, could you tell us about the days that you're open and the hours that you're open?
So we're open Tuesday to Friday. On Tuesdays and Fridays, we're open from 10 to 2. Wednesdays and Thursdays, 12:30 to 4.
Does anybody have any questions of our new Sonoita Library representative?
Camila made a very nice flyer to invite veterans to drop off their photos because she's going to do a display during the month of November. And has anyone stopped in yet? I've sent that to some veterans I know. Have they stopped in yet with photos?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. I'll rattle their trees.
What else is coming up? What other activities do you have in the future for the library?
So right now I'm actually working on kind of like a Thanksgiving tree where it's going to be obviously like a tree in a pot, and then I have some cutout leaves on some string, and I'm going to have it so people can write down books to share with the community, and so people can share what they love reading with other people, and maybe people will pick up some new books that they previously didn't know about. And just a way, since it's November, Thanksgiving's coming around, just to give thanks to the love of reading.
I remember that in past years, with so many homeschooled students in the Sonoita area, the library got quite a bit of traffic from students. Do you still seeing that as the case?
Not as much. There is one person who comes in who goes to Patagonia High School. They don't have classes Friday. She comes in and she uses the computers a lot. Juanita comes in and
I believe you're mentoring her or something. But it's nice to see that she uses the computers to more educate herself on what she wants to do.
Good, thank you. Anybody else have any questions?
Yes. Have any patrons come in to express particular concerns about, especially since the expansion of the library has occurred there in Sonoita, that you were not aware of at the time and trying to work on?
Just people coming in and asking about when we're going to get more books or what certain rooms, the room behind the barn doors, if that's available for public use or if we're going to expand there and have more books there. But other than that, nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
Well, thank you very much for coming in and taking time for us to have a chance to meet you. Thank you.
Camila will be at the Nogales Library today, so if you stop by, you'll see her. Do you just want me to keep going?
Yes, please go ahead, continue.
I'm just going to quickly go through all the events that we've had for the past month. We had a loteria with Clarissa at the Nogales Library. It was a lot of fun. The kids and the moms had a great time. We also had a Halloween event. Camila came and helped us, and Alberto and our teen tutors. We had a haunted house for the first time. Laura and Karina did an event for the children outside. It was a fun day. Laura and Karina and all staff also did a Dia de Muertos altar to Benny Gonzalez, our architect. It was great. We also had pumpkin painting over at the Rio Rico Library. Continued to do outreach. Staff was at the Nogales High School, at Mariposa, and at the Consulado, right? Future programming, just so you're aware, Santa Claus is going to be at the main library on December 13th. We're going to have the teens doing their piñata again in a few weeks. I don't have the exact date yet, but it's going to be at the gazebo. It's fun. We're going to be doing ornament making at Tubac Library. Loteria is coming back with free pan dulce and coffee, so the board is invited. And we're also going to be raffling books in December every week at all the libraries. We're going to have a children's book, a teens book, and an adult book that's going to be raffled. And that's it for now. Oh, and I want to invite the board on Monday at 11 in the morning. The Mexican consulate is going to donate 200 books to the main library. The mayor will be there, and the event is at 11 in the morning on November 18th. I hope to see most of you there. That's it for now.
Thank you. I wanted to just add a postscript that in the Tubac Library, they had a Veterans Day exhibit. Did you do that? What?
I think they're supposed to be in all the libraries.
Are they?
Yes, and they'll be there all month long at all four
Yeah,
libraries.
the entire month?
I do want to add that 2 staff members are getting certified. Laura Rodriguez and Supervisor Martinez are working on certifications. As of this, Laura's been working on with her class, how long now? A month? A month, and Karina just started her class yesterday.
What kind of certification is that?
Mine is on conflict management within patrons and staff.
How apropos.
And Laura, it's from early childhood.
That's wonderful.
Is it? And library certification as well. Support certification.
Good. That's great. Moving forward, future agenda items. Does any board member have an item they want to place on the agenda at this time?
Patagonia Library.
Juanita, the Patagonia Library. After our meeting with Supervisor Molero, we will have an item on the Rio Rico Library. Anything else we want to carry forward from today's agenda?
Continued updates on the furniture and et cetera at the Sonoita Library.
So we're Sonoita Library. All right. Very good. Anybody else?
Friends.
Friends, as always. and Friends is a standard agenda item. Okay. Thank you very much. And now moving forward, the date of our next meeting will be December 11th, 2024, here in the City Hall at 10 a.m. Everybody mark your calendars. And if there's no longer further any comments or observations, I will entertain a motion for adjournment at 10:40 in the morning.
So moved.
Have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Pancho. Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.